I have two things that are going to blow you away. One, I'm going to give you a reason to celebrate. Two, I can predict the future. Let me show you. First of all, what I cannot predict the future on is mortgage rates. By gosh, they're up in the sevens now, low sevens, according to Mortgage News Daily. You see the chart. We've been warning of this for the last week or two, how once we came down below this black line, we were worried. Right now, guys, that really the blue one we've been talking about, that 200-day moving average, we're squeezed. We hope we can get it back above that, because that means lower rates. Remember, guys, lower here means higher rates. We wanted to go up. So we'll see. The biggest reason that's moved the rates in the last week or two has been inflation. It is what it is. Basically, the Fed says, hey, well, even the Fed, but the Fed did say this in response to some data that now moves the odds of rate cuts from what they thought might be March now to like later in June. We'll see. I've been of the opinion, if you go back and watch these things, I've been of the opinion that it was always going to be June at the earliest. So time will tell. We shall see what happens. Guys, homeownership gains. Thought this was really interesting. Shows just kind of where the certain markets are going. The typical homeowner has nearly 400. Look at this stat down below. I mean, yes, you got the division of the minorities that are buying and where they are in the states, but the bottom part was staggering. And I've said this stat before, but real numbers just drive it home. The typical homeowner has nearly $400,000 in wealth. By comparison, the typical renter has just over 10,000. I've always said it's 40x, which is true. That's wild to me, but you guys can see the home ownership rates across different races over there on the chart. But again, it's just interesting. Where are the office to apartment conversions happening? Meaning old offices that are just sitting there and they're trying to make them into apartments. I am surprised. I don't say shocked, but really surprised. I'm shocked. Dallas is number 3. Who knew? Washington, D.C., New York, 1 and 2. Those make sense. Chicago makes way more sense to me than Dallas. But who knew? Los Angeles, California makes more sense than Dallas. But here we are, number 3 in the Metroplex here in the DFW area. I thought that was interesting. The Great Compression. Guys, population since 1959 has doubled. The problem is that we talked about last week, the amount of construction that's going on today for new homes is still the same as it was in 1959. So think about that. We're building the same number of homes that we were building in 1959 with the population that we have today. And what does that population look like? Check this out. This is the birth ratios. What's interesting, how does Roe v. Wade impact this? 1973, Roe versus Wade gets passed. Look at the population boom that comes thereafter. It was a little flat during the 70s. Economically, I know the 70s was kind of flat in general, but you can see since 1977 how populations just increased, right? More and more babies coming along. But you guys can see in the 1987, you're right here, this little median age of today's first-time home buyers, that's what's coming. You see the spike from 87 to about the early 90s? That's still what needs to buy homes today. That's still when we talk about, oh, there's millennials and all that stuff. These folks are still need to be homeowners. Look at that population growth that's coming. So we are building homes at a very dismal rate that matches 1959, but look at the population that's coming of age to buy homes. So guys, the Gen Zers, this just shows where they're leading. So it's not a big surprise, but cost of living is really expensive. Texas is obviously a big benefactor of the people that we're picking up from other states. Good for us. And then this little chart, which is interesting on the left, it's not a chart, it's a map. I just thought this was interesting as far as the lower middle class in the most expensive states. Plano, Texas, here in DFW, you got anywhere from 70 to 117 grand for the household income. I thought that was pretty interesting, comparing that to San Francisco, which is substantially more expensive. You're at 91 to 150. Not too far off, but for the price of the homes and what you get here versus there, I just thought this was really interesting. Number 1 was Arlington, Virginia. Who knew? All right, guys, let's have some fun. Let's do this today. Is it sad that I knew this? I told you I'd give you two good things that are just interesting. I knew this off the top of my head. I didn't have to go research it. Today, the 22nd of February, is National Margarita Day. Go celebrate, guys. Find a friend, have one tonight, bottoms up. This is an opinion piece. So Louisville here in North Texas, they've banned short-term rentals. I'm all about entrepreneurism. I'm all about making more money. I don't like the government interfering, telling me what I can and can't do. However, as a homeowner, I truly don't want short-term rentals next to me. So I'm okay with this, which is really weird because it's contrary to my fundamental beliefs. But the reality is a lot of places are starting to put the bans on. You guys have seen them for Airbnbs because it's true. I've stayed in Airbnbs with buddies, and there are 8 cars out front, and we are staying up late having a good time on a Tuesday. So I understand why people don't want short-term rentals, but I just throwing it out there. Some cities are cracking down. I even saw somewhere in California, somebody's getting like a $500,000 fine for doing this when the city said they couldn't. This was fascinating. Somebody apparently has created machines that can lay bricks. So from building homes, they can actually have machines lay the bricks. Think about that for a second. That blew my mind. Self-driving cars, they might become self-driving offices. So apparently there's companies out there that are trying to figure out how to make this where you can sit around, hang out, and actually do business. So not work from home, not work at the office, work from your car. I got a buddy, Omid, this one's for you, bud, that apparently because this guy kept a receipt when he bought this Rolex, he can now sell it for, I think it was like 400 grand in the article, but a lot of them are going between 500 and 700,000. The receipt was the difference maker. So keep your receipts if you're collecting watches, guys. Lastly, our segment that we're calling Chasing Excellence. Guys, this is where I predict the future. It's unbelievable. Have you ever heard, like, take that envelope and put it in the freezer, put your goals for that year and put them in there? Most years, because of a coaching program, I would write a 5-year letter to myself. I just pulled it out to show my employees an example of what I want them to do for themselves, both personally and professionally. The one in the middle, and I made it small on purpose because this is my actual 5-year letter, at least page 1 of it, that I wrote November 6th, 2019. It is basically 4 years later, 4.5 years, almost 5, my 5-year letter to myself. It was absolutely mind-blowing how accurate it was, the things I wanted to accomplish, the things I did, and I haven't looked at it since. It literally even said, like, I'm taking a week-long RV trip with my family. Guys, in 3 or 4 weeks, we're doing that. We're going to the Grand Canyon, getting the RV, doing the whole Griswold thing. It's mind-blowing. I highly recommend writing a 5-year letter yourself. Put your goals, your dreams, your wishes, your desires, faith, family, friends, health, wealth, and work. Use those topics. Man, this is really cool. I didn't put it in the freezer, but I pulled it out and I just thought, man, I had to share that. It's really, really cool, guys. Lastly, let's get social. I don't know if this works. Let's see if it does. Yeah. Right. Here's what was on our social. That was the big one this week. So if a potato can become vodka, you can become a homeowner. Anyway, guys, get social with us. We appreciate you. As always, scan the little code here, friend us, forward this to anybody you want. We will put the slides so you guys can make your own. Obviously, delete my stuff, or you can leave it. Delete whatever you want and start doing in your own marketing. But we really appreciate you guys. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and reach out if you guys have any questions or need anything from us. We appreciate you and have a great rest of the week and enjoy that margarita.